Amid the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, countries around the world, including Canada, are battling anti-Semitism. Recently, Canadian PM Justin Trudeau denounced the pro-Hamas rallies in Canada. He stated of being united against acts of terror, although he was embarrassed after Indians reminded him of pandering to Khalistani terrorists. Trudeau had claimed that the glorification of violence is not accepted in Canada. However, quite a few pro-Palestine supporters in Canada have not only condoned but celebrated the Hamas attack on Israel. This includes colleges, business establishments, pilots, and even police officials, the ones people rely on for protection. Here are some of the instances where pro-Palestine Canadians have celebrated the Hamas terror attack. On October 12, Peel Regional Police Chief Nishan Duraipa posted on X, "Peel Regional Police remains steadfast in our commitments to public safety and will not tolerate any forms of hate crimes or threat of violence against anyone." Recently, several pro-Hamas rallies have been conducted in Canadian cities, particularly in Toronto, which prompted Justin Trudeau to give a statement against these demonstrations. After Trudeau's statement, Toronto police has upped its policing on hate crimes against Jews or pro-Israel supporters. However, what happens when the ones entrusted with protecting the community are celebrating the attack on them? Ex-user documenting anti-Semitism, which has been sharing anti-Semitic posts, wrote, "How should the Jewish community feel when police officers mock and minimize the slaughter of babies?" With increasing threats of violence to the community, Toronto police must address anti-Semitism within their own ranks. The post had two images attached from the Instagram account of a Toronto police officer, Shumail Mia. From the first image, we could identify his name and that he served in 55 Division of Toronto Police Service. The other image was from Shumail's Instagram, which shows a cartoon of media cameras videoing an Israeli baby, while on the other side of the border in Gaza, there are severed bodies, decapitated heads, and pools of blood. And at the end, he wrote #FreePalestine. It seems as if he is mocking the recent news of several Israeli babies being decapitated and burnt alive. We cannot independently confirm this news ourselves, but Jerusalem Post has confirmed it, while the Israeli PM's office had also posted some photos of infants. The other post, reportedly from Toronto police officer Mustafa Rahmanzadeh, was a meme showing a picture of Adolf Hitler morphing over 3 frames into Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu. The meme had the following text: "How can you inflict the same torture that your own people suffered?" It was followed by the words, "May SWT destroy the oppressors." This police officer is comparing a state head with a German dictator, Adolf Hitler. This comparison is not only cruel, but it is beyond common sense. According to the Toronto Sun, the 2 police officers are being investigated. Those posts would be disturbing coming from anybody, but it's particularly more depressing as they come from people sworn to protect all citizens. It's troubling and potentially damaging, coming at a time when Jews are potentially vulnerable to violence all over the world and in Canada. Anti-Semitism is rising in Canada. For instance, a former pilot in Air Canada, Mustafa Ezo, shared a series of disturbing anti-Semitic photos celebrating the terrorist attack on Israel on social media. He even wore pro-Palestine colors while in uniform. In another post, Mustafa shared a photo of him holding a placard that read, "Israel, Hitler is proud of you." Later, the pilot in question was grounded by Air Canada, and then in a post, it informed that the pilot was no longer working with the organization. After pilots, we have anti-Semitic doctors in Canada. Ben Thompson, MD at Coatiloki Vaughan Hospital and assistant professor at Queen's University, shamelessly tried to deny the incident of Israeli babies being beheaded by Hamas terrorists. In a reply to another post, he wrote, "No babies were beheaded. There have been no confirmed reports of rapes. You repeat this nonsense out of racism." This when Hamas terrorists have themselves shared videos of women being abducted and of bodies of women paraded throughout streets while Allahu Akbar is being chanted. And it's not only pilots, policemen or doctors, but even university students who are supporting Hamas. 3 student unions at York University in Canada have shown solidarity with Palestine and asserted support for their fight against settler colonialism, apartheid and genocide. However, Hamas was not even mentioned once in their statement. Moreover, they actually seem to justify the terrorist attack on Israelis. Quoting their statement, These events serve as a reminder that resistance against colonial violence is justified and necessary. Imagine, what will these students grow into? This new development of rising anti-Semitism being reported from Canada is concerning. It also comes at a time when Canada's Western allies have strongly voiced out against supporters of Hamas's terror attack on Israel. It should also be mentioned that since 7 October 2023, the date when Hamas terrorists launched an attack on Israel and cowardly massacred children and citizens. Since then, several rallies and demonstrations have been organized in Canada. These rallies have been conducted by terror sympathizers who hailed the killings by Hamas. To make things worse for Canada, just last Monday a parliament gave a standing ovation to a Nazi who was responsible for murder of Polish Jews during World War II. This led to a diplomatic embarrassment for Trudeau government, and they had to apologize for the same to Polish Jews. It's concerning that Justin Trudeau has allowed anti-Semitism to flourish in Canada. But then it's not actually surprising, especially for Indians. Under Trudeau's rule, Khalistani terrorists have been nurtured. Indian gangsters have found home. Killer of Bangladesh's Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is living his life luxuriously. Sri Lanka's most wanted terrorist was hosted in Canada. And to top it off, a literal Nazi was honored in the Canadian Parliament. Amid this furore, the pamphlet questions the leader of a broken country. Are these your liberal values? If you like this video, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also do not forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.